All right, guys, this is episode 6 of DM Podcast. I'm with Mark and Mick, as per usual, talking about the previous week's news or anything that's going on in the taxi driver car industry. Yeah, that's it. There's some big changes going on the channel lately. I just wanted to make sure I mention it. So more recently, I'm doing a lot more membership content. So Mick and Mark have been a member of the YouTube channel for a few years now. Cost a couple of quid a month. Supports me and it supports the channel, and it makes me able to do a little bit less taxi work, a bit more content on the channel, and obviously do more podcasts and stuff like that. So if you want to become a member, it's below the YouTube video as a join button. A couple of quid a month supports the channel, and you get unique members only content that only members can see, and obviously other bits and bobs. It's in the tier list anyway. Also, we've just created a Discord group. I'm going to put the link below the YouTube video again as well. And the Discord group is completely free, and it's a good place to just jump in, hang out, have a chat, have a catch up with all the lads. There's about 60 odd people in it now, and it is growing each day. So if you want to jump in there, feel free. So today we going to start the podcast, obviously, with just what we've been up to. So I'll start, and then I'll go to Mark, and then I'll go to Mick. So for me personally, bit of a busy day. I had nothing Monday, nothing Tuesday, no airport at all. Bit of a weird lull, especially during the summer holidays. But today I had an early morning out in the Tesla, shirt and tie job. Well, shirt, don't like ties. Dropped them off at Manchester Airport. I've shot back here. We're filming this. And then I've got another airport run at 1 p.m. and another airport run at 8 p.m. So I'm going to edit the video, chop it up into TikToks, somewhere in between those gaps, and hopefully get this video live for 5 p.m. for the podcast. Mark, I know you've had a bit of a busy day today. How are you getting on, mate?
Yeah, busy day, busy week. I think it's a bit of a novelty for. Seems to be people being saying it's a bit quiet on some holidays, but I've been quite busy. Anyway, today I've had East Midlands drop, Leeds Bradford drop, come back, do this, and then I've got a 10:30 going out to Manchester, and that'll be me done.
Have you already done 2 airports this morning?
Yeah, been out left house about 2:15 this morning.
Minging that lad, but obviously it keeps you busy, doesn't it?
Yeah, pays the bills.
Yeah. How about yourself, Mick?
I was supposed to have an 2:30 in the morning, but that got through away. So yeah, I've got a 11:15 and a 1 o'clock, and then I'm back home, family, mind the kids, and then I've got a 1:10 land in the morning. So I still count that as the same day, to be totally honest.
Because you're still awake.
Because I'll still be awake. The kids, the missus in work, so I'll be up till at least 10 o'clock with the kids, 9-10 o'clock with the kids. Probably get myself a couple of hours before I do me 1 o'clock, and then home. Can't even think what I've got tomorrow morning. If I've got anything on tomorrow morning, I don't think. Oh no, I think it's a day off tomorrow. But
nice.
Yeah. I've got an horrible day.
What have you got, Mark?
I've got. I think I'm up at out at 2:30 again. Got taken to Manchester, come back down to East Midlands, come back to Manchester, drop off, back to Sheffield, back to Manchester, drop off, back to Sheffield, and I think I'm done. About 6 tomorrow. It's about a 16-hour day tomorrow.
Say that again, sorry, you cut out a bit there.
Probably be about a 16-hour day to me tomorrow.
Wow. Tomorrow,
Friday, I've got one on Friday, so I can relax on Friday.
Nice. Yeah, but knowing you'll end up going out on Uber anyway. You're flipping greedy get.
Yep. Well, yeah, just to sit in a lay-by and twiddle my thumb and watch you on YouTube.
Hey, that sounds like a flipping fantastic day. Fantastic day. What you call it? Obviously, big news. Like this actually was last week. So BYD, which is one of the Chinese car manufacturers, they're actually second to Tesla now in UK worldwide electric car manufacturers. You probably heard of BYD. They do the Seal and other weird named ones. But they have just done a big partnership with Uber. Going to provide 100,000 cars to the fleet. And also their driverless technology is going to combine with Uber's technology. And they have come out and said they are going to assist Uber in their end game of having driverless taxis or driverless Ubers. So what I wanted to say Mick, no swearing. Do you think you'd be getting replaced by a driverless taxi in your lifetime?
My lifetime? No. I doubt it in my lifetime. It will come, but I think it's already in America, isn't it? Well, it's basically happening in America. But I reckon for them to, it's a bit tough. Normally when it's in America, I think it's got to take over there before it's going to take over us. And I think for it to happen, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer for it to happen. Do you know what I mean? I'd say I might see it, but I'll probably be in the back of one, not driving one. Well, obviously I won't be driving one, but I won't be on the road battling against them, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I won't be I don't think I'll be replaced by one because I won't be in the job that long.
Yeah.
Enough. Do you know what I mean?
What about yourself, Mark?
This is obviously going to happen, isn't it? Because look at technology, look at the phones, how they've come, where they've come from. So I think it will happen, but I don't think it. I generally don't think it'll take over from people driving cars. I just can't see it. It's for one, it's there's too many cars on the road. How can it? How can it? Unless they're like Scalextrics, they're all on the same. I just can't see it. They will have some out there, but I just don't think it'll take over. I generally don't. Not in my lifetime.
That's what I think it'll be, won't it? That's what I think it'll be. It'll be one of those things that'll has a knock-on effect of why we're going quiet again, or why we're quiet. Oh, you got these driverless cars out on the road now. They're taking most of the customers. It'll be a discussion that Uber want them cars to turn up and not us and all blah, blah, blah. That's the way it'll fizzle.
Yeah.
And then it'll just end up fizzling, people just going, oh, I've had enough of this job, blah, 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 and moving on. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I think. But I think we're still 30 years off before even discussing it. And it's mad to think that because it's in America already. Do you know what I mean?
See, I reckon, like obviously I've got autopilot on my car, but a lot of my features are restricted by UK law. So even though like my car will change lanes around traffic and stuff, I've still got to indicate and initiate the turn with my steering wheel. So UK law don't even allow it. And also, I just don't think our roads are made for it. Like in the US, you've got these 4, 5, 6 lane highways and they're all straight runs. Like if you've been like to Florida or International Drive, they're literally just big long roads stopping at lights. Our motorways are all over the show. The lines are rubbed out, temporary new lines are put in, and like you can't even figure out as a human which lane you should be in. You know when they temporarily put line, you know what I mean? Or you come off the motorway and there's no separate lanes and there's one big slip road coming off and you don't know which lane you're going to be in. Like my car freaks out on the motorways now using the autopilot system with me in a car. I just don't think the infrastructure for UK is anywhere near there. And I reckon what Mick said is true. I reckon it's going to be a gimmick, me. I reckon you might see 5% of cars in the future being or like fully driverless, like in America now. I don't think it's going to push past that. I can't see it replacing cars for years and years and years and years. Like, especially from a professional standpoint, you might be able to get one personally, you know, your own personal family car, driverless. Oh, go take me the ads there. Do you know what I mean? But from a professional standpoint, I can't see it coming for a long time. Not in my life, anyway.
It might be like a service car, you know, like Ubers, like taxis, buses. But I don't think it'll be a personal choice. I don't think people will go out and get a personal car that will drive itself because one, if you've got a family of 4 and there's only got 5 seats, hold on, let me work this out. If you've got 5 people in your family, so you've got 4 kids, you and your wife, 3 kids, you ain't gonna fit in a car, are you?
Well, yeah, one kid can sit in the driver's seat, can't he?
Yeah.
But just think as well if they do and when they are on the road and one smashes into you, who'd you claim from?
That's a good point.
The firm who runs it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
And then
could.
saying,
I suppose. Yeah, it'll be the person in the back as well.
back to the infrastructure. If you think about it, a lot of townships now, the roads are that narrow, and the parking. The only way they can do it is make sure that people are not parking on roads, because sometimes when you go through townships, through villages, it's down to one lane. So you imagine a car coming. I just don't. I don't know. But you can never say never, can you? But
No, did you see the clip in America and what it was? They were in a driverless car, and the police in America, they sometimes stop the traffic manually with like a little stick or whatever and guide people around a crash or something like that. And in America, these lads were in a car, they were filming it, and this policeman was going, move over there, move over there. And this driverless car kept on edging towards this policeman, and they're screaming out the window going, there's no driver, mate, there's not us. And they're like going, go round the traffic. And obviously, a driverless car is not going to see a busy and go, oh, he's waving me to go around the traffic. He's just trying to stay on the lane with the radar system. Do you know what I mean? So the scenarios that it still won't work.
But saying that, with it being a driverless cars, would things be set up round the roads like traffic lights? That'd be controlled even more because it'd be connected to the car, won't it? There'd be something in the traffic light to slow down. So if you think about it, it might be a lot safer because there'd be things on the road. Like you're saying about that policewoman, they'd probably put a robot there just to stand there or something like that, doing all that rubbish. And it's like telling that car what to do. So do you know what I mean? If you think about it, it might be the next best thing.
Yeah, but like I said, it's going to be 100 years plus, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah. They might be hovering flying
I
cars
wouldn't
by
push
then.
to 100 years. Like, I wouldn't see another lifetime in there. We mightn't see it in our lifetime, but I wouldn't push for an extra lifetime after us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe the kids will see it, won't they?
Maybe our kids will be getting in the back of them. Do you know what I mean? I reckon we will see it in our lifetime, but I don't think it'll be a problem for us drivers in our lifetime, if you get what I mean.
So it'll come to the UK in our lifetime, but it won't be like a big infrastructure that will replace taxi drivers anytime soon type of vibe. So we will see it come, but you can't see it being any on a grand scale for many years to come.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, look at trains underground. They should be the first things that should be run with driverless, but they don't. There's people sat there, and they're on the track, aren't they? They don't even move anywhere.
Yeah.
So
and they still have train drivers, yeah.
So if they don't do trains, they're not going to bring. Well, they're going to bring cars out, but they're not going to have cars with driverless everywhere. I don't think. No, I'm against it. No.
Yeah, that is a bit crazy, isn't it?
I won't get one.
Why are they aiming for driverless? It's Elon Musk again. Don't get me started. Move on.
Talk to us, mate. Tell us what you feel.
What?
Don't. Hey, I'm going to move on there quick, but I actually like Elon Musk. So anyway, right, where are we up to? Right, this is a good point because what?
You would, Mr. I own 2 Teslas.
Hey, I own one, and my wife owns the other. Thank you very much. So this come up the other day, and Matty, me and Mark were talking about it in the WhatsApp group. Now, I've always thought this, and Mark seconds it, right? So you speak to a full-time Uber driver these days, right? And they were like, oh yeah, taking over, done this, blah, 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 consistently quite in and okay. But the likes of me, who hasn't been online for 4 days, might go online, have a little peek, nothing's happening, go offline, or cherry pick, or I might go on Uber to try and get a job to man air because I've got to land. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go online, half an hour, ping, 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 nothing's coming through, go offline. So I am a very inconsistent driver. Yeah. Do you think, I'll start off with Mark, do you think that Uber prioritizes the good, accept everything, full-time drivers?
100%, definitely. Like a bit like you. Obviously, I do airport runs, and I'll probably do about Uber. If I do Uber, about 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 hours a day. And then 2 or 3 hours, I'll probably get a maximum of, well, I don't know, wouldn't earn no in them 2 or 3. I did one the other morning, did 3 hours, I earned, what were it? 27 quid, 28 quid in 3 hours at a rush hour, 30 quid, something like that, I can't remember. And I would give them, I offered peanuts, a lot of £3.30 jobs, well, not a lot, but I know for a fact that when I feel that, because I don't cherry pick, I don't do many hours, I think they definitely do look at the full-time drivers. The algorithms, I reckon, are out there, because I know someone who does it. It comes out at 5 in the morning, finishes at 3, so that's what, 10 hours, 250 every day in Sheffield. Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. He does.
Wow.
He does between 8 and 10 hours a day, and his target's 250, but he says he does it between 8 and 10 hours.
Wow.
And
I would.
And on that, then, if I'm doing 3 hours and I'm doing 25, 30 quid, it don't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something's got to be different, hasn't it?
Yeah.
How about yourself, Mark? Mick, what do you reckon, mate? Do you reckon that Uber's going to favour, like, positive, good rated, good high acceptance rate drivers? Yes, man.
Yeah. I do, yeah. But there's so many thoughts that run through my head when I was asked this and told this. I do think they do it, obviously. But I think it's wrong, for one. Because for the reason one, back when we were all joining Uber, when Uber hit in Merseyside, we were all like drivers were jumping over because it was an automated system, and everyone was getting away from a human behind the thing, and the old classic word of an operator feeding drivers, having the favourite drivers, giving the same workout. It was an incentive to join Uber, because everyone was like, there's no feeding going on, there's no human behind there with favouritisms, giving the favourite jobs to people or to the favourite drivers and things like that. That was one massive incentive. And now to know it's actually happening, that incentive's just gone boom out the water as well. Do you know what I mean? So I do think it's happening, but I also think it can swing in favours as well. I don't think it's so much as you're highly rated and you're expected to accept every single job, so you'll be sent it. I think it's more of like an algorithm of what type of work you accept. Do you know what I mean? So if you switch on and there's a lad that goes and happy in an electric car doing 3-4 quid around towns, and he's happy doing that, and his money just goes bump, 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 up. Because ideally, round town, in an electric car, that's what you want to be doing. You don't want to rank up your mileage. Do you know what I mean? You want... I think how many of them in an hour you can do, and you make your money. Do you know what I mean? If you're going less than a mile with jobs, or just over a mile with jobs, and the next door to you, it can take 10 minutes to do one job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
They were some of the best jobs that I used to do full-time either.
3-4 quid a job, 10 minutes a job. You're fitting 5 in. What? No, you're fitting 6 in at 3 quid a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At minimum, 3 quid a go. That's what you're fitting in. So your money would rank up. But then I also think that when we log on, the likes of us who do airports and stuff, Uber think, well, he's more likely to accept that. Send him it. Do you know what I mean? It works.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it works. I think it works in both ways. It's not just about the favoritism of this. It's about like your profile as a driver, what type of work you're willing to accept, or the computer gets to learn you. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I think it works. I don't think it's so much as you're at the bottom of the queue because you don't accept work. Because that's just
I
bang
get
out
you.
of order. And then there's also the algorithm of, right, if you sit there long enough, you'll find yourself getting sent a decent job. If you have a look, but 90% of the time, if you're out and you're at this thing in these, after like an hour or half an hour of you rejecting, you'll end up getting sent a decent job to get your earnings along the path of what everyone else is earning that around that time and hours, or the average around that area. You're always getting stats off Uber saying you earn this much in this at this time, and the average earnings around on this time of day is this. It's all off the what the computer knows and the algorithms out.
You could,
Do you know what I mean?
But it could be right there, because if you go on the Uber app, it actually says at the bottom, doesn't it, the average hour earning for that hour part of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's telling the driver that you potentially could earn that average hour. So if it's £20 an hour, it's basically saying if you work between them hours, you will earn £20 an hour.
Yeah. So I think it's
right there. It could be. Do you know what I mean? It's telling you
both ways. Yeah.
You know what though?
Like you say, Mark, that's exactly it.
You could be right there. You know what was mad? Like I said, I don't do Uber much at all now. And I dropped off in town and I had a bit of free time. And I think I went live on TikTok or something like that. So I just sat off in town and I got nothing. I was sat there for half an hour and nothing was coming through in town. And you see an Ubers dropping off, picking up all around you, you know, because like every other car in town is an Uber. It's so many. But they're all, but like you're saying, they might be the guys that love doing town to town, staying to town. And then I can't remember what it was. And it was like 45 minutes in. I was like, I'm going to head home soon. I didn't have my destination set to home. And then I got one job offer in like 1 hour. And it was literally 5 minutes from my house. Well, like an 18 quid job, whatever, back like towards Rainhill or something like that, or Prescott. And I was like, wow, what's the chances of that? And that could be mean like, oh, Matty only goes online when he tries to get home or something like that. So you could be onto something there. What's the point of sending Matty a town to town because he doesn't do them no more? Or whatever, do you know what I mean? Or like I might have a more chance of getting a man here because I'm up there quite a lot or whatever. So I could be right. It might not be more Uber's prioritising full-time drivers or the yes men, but the more just know your work pattern. And if anything comes along that suits your work pattern, they know they'll get that job covered. Because that's all Uber cares about, isn't it? Uber doesn't care about drivers. Uber cares about the passengers getting covered at the cheapest rate for the driver to be accepted. Do you know what I mean? So if they see a job going to near my house and they'll go, Matty will take that. We'll take 50% off this, but we'll know he'll take it because he's on his way home. Or they'll send it to Bob, take loads of little commissions off Bob because he knows he stays in the city centre. So Bob will hardly ever get long distance job offers because the algorithm thinks that he does. Yeah. That's why I like this type of podcast, because it gives you different insights. And because when me and Mark were talking about it the other day, we literally said, Mark, didn't we? Oh, Uber just favours full-time yes men drivers. But maybe what Mick brought out a point where it's not that they're favouring them. It's just they're favouring their type of work ethic or their work pattern. What do you reckon to that, Mark? Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's changed my way of thinking of it. I still think if people out there, because I've seen a lot of people on TikTok Saturday goes, oh, I'm not taking that, it's too low. I'm not taking that, it's too low. And about half hour later, they get a really good job that will bump earning £25 an hour. Do you know what I mean? And then you get people out there that would just absolutely take anything, and they will travel 10 miles to do a £4 job.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. I think that's the way it works. I don't think it's you don't accept, your acceptance rate is down low. I don't think you're back of the queue to get offered jobs. Do you know what I mean? It's just more of the computer works with you type of thing. I still think it's wrong. I don't think it should happen. Let me just put that out there. I don't. If you're the closest driver, you should get offered the job regardless. That's how no algorithm shouldn't be taking over that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I still think it's wrong. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's the way it works. I think it learns, the computer learns you as a profile as a driver and thingies that. And this is sometimes we're out there for an hour and a half and we don't get it. That's just simply because there is no job to send us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing there for us. It's not the fact that we're the thingy. It's just simply no one's booking a job that we're likely to accept. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way I can
So
work out.
what's the point in saying, you know what, mate? Because you're right, though, because you know those Uber reserves, yeah? I used to get a
Yeah.
few of them when you first come in. I've not got one since. And I think same again, Uber's gone, why are we sending him a reserve? He never does them. So
Yeah.
I've not had Uber reserve for months and months and months, not even one. I know lads who get multiple per week. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. And
You
I
are
bet
right.
you if one did come through to you for whatever reason, it's just trying its luck with you, the computer, and you took it, I bet you'd start seeing more of them come through to you because you've accepted one.
Yeah, you know, that's a valid point. And if you're say at Lime Street with 6, 7 other drivers literally parked on top of each other, because you know what it's like, Lime Street, there's always an Uber within a yard, 2 yards. So obviously, if a fella comes off the train and goes, I'm going to Manor, it'll send it to probably me, you, or Mark, because we're always at Manor, or we know we do airport work all the time. Do you know what I mean? But if it's going from like Lime Street to the Hilton Hotel down the corner, it'll send it back to Bob, who loves driving within the town region. So it's not they're not sending it to the closest driver, they're sending it to who they know that will highest probability of taking that job. But that goes back to originally what me and Mark said. If you're the type of person to accept every job Uber takes you, and your acceptance rate is 80-90%, do you know what I mean? Like really every job you do, boom, 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 boom. If there's 5-6 drivers in a clump, I'm sure he's going to get the job first, isn't he? Because he's always accepting jobs. So they're going to go, we need this job covering. It is looking busy. Send it to Bob. He's got 90% acceptance rate. What's the point of sending it to Mick or Mark, who's got 10%?
Yeah,
So
sorry, go on, carry on. Sorry, I'm butting in.
Yeah. No, sorry. So they are favouring to technically full-time yes men drivers, aren't they?
Yeah, it's obviously it's still feeding. However you look at it, whatever you look at it, it's still feeding, regardless. And this is why it shouldn't happen. Now, if I drive down, just I don't know, Mackey's by ours. I drive into the car park, pull in there. I'm sitting there for half an hour. I've basically, not even, let's say half an hour, 15 minutes, and nothing's come through to me. Matty pulls in, right? Parks next to me. And we sit there for another 10 minutes. Next job that comes goes to Matty. And you'd be probably thinking, hang on, what? Why? I've been here for 25 minutes now. He's been here 10. I should be getting that job. Do you know what I mean?
That's happened, by the way, a lot of times. That's happened when I've pulled up to someone and I've got the job before them, or vice versa.
And the reason being, it'll be because that job suits more of a profile to you than what it does me. And it's come to you first. And if you didn't accept it, which 90% of the time, if it suits your profile, you're gonna accept it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it shouldn't be running on that. I've just sat there for 25 minutes without a job. I should be getting that offered to me to reject, then it go to you.
But
do you know what I mean?
But if it was an Uber X then, and you're in your bus, Mick, and I'm in my car, should it go to me first because it's my type of car, vehicle that they requested first? Or should it still go to you?
Not if I've got Uber X on.
Yeah, but the customer wants a car, not a bus.
It doesn't matter, does it? You shouldn't. You going into an XL vehicle shouldn't limit you to not get car work. You buy an XL vehicle and pay the extra diesel and insurances to have the option of covering more.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be restricted from taking a car away from you. It should come to me for me to then say, no, I don't want that. Give it to Matty. It should give us the option, not favour it, and that's feeding.
And what do you reckon, Matty?
Didn't with Uber, well, I signed up with Uber when it first came in about 8-9 years ago. And I'm sure they said to me when we did the onboarding that it's the nearest driver to that person. You know, like the nearest car to the actual customer. Is that still the case? It's not, is it?
No.
No. Uber will probably tell you it is.
Yeah,
Uber will probably tell you it is.
It was like that a long time ago. I think these days loads have changed since Uber. back in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
day, you know, the fixed 25% commission and all that jazz, all that's gone. But originally, that could have been, because you think about it now, AI is so big on our phones. It's on my Photoshop when I'm editing. They're like, hey, do you want to do this with AI or whatever? AI is in all tech now. You're telling me a multi-billion-pound company ain't got AI picking their algorithm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be algorithm AI powered to selecting the job, and that algorithm will be set up to literally say, pick the driver that's got the highest chance of doing the job at the lowest amount of money. That will be literally the system telling you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because if I get a job through that I don't fancy it, it's always at a half decent rate. You know, thinking about it now, what you're saying. But if it's a job that's going like that I really wanted, like a man here, even though like it'd be like 30 quid, it'd be terrible. But they know, yeah. I think more and more I'm thinking about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely the case. I don't think it can work in our favour as well as someone
Yeah.
else's favour, but I still think it's wrong. It shouldn't be like that. It should be longest waiting or closest driver,
Yeah.
and a bit of both mixed in. At the end of the day, if you're within a 0.1 of a mile, 0.2 of a mile, or whatever, it goes down to longest waiting in that circle of
Yeah.
0.1. Do you know what I mean?
How the old systems used to work. Sorry, Mark, go on, mate.
Saying that, like Mick's point there, Mick said there about the longest driver. But the thing is like, you know, you've worked on local taxis before. You've got areas, haven't you? So if you go from one area to another, you go to the back of the queue, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you're doing Uber and you're driving around doing Uber, you're going from area to area to area. So you might be waiting 20 minutes. I might be sat in one area for 5 minutes, say 10 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever. And you know that you're the only driver in that area. But then I'm sat there and then Mick drives in. He hasn't had a job for an hour, but he drives into there and the job comes, he gets it. It's not fair on that person that's been sat there waiting in that area, is it? So
No, but that does happen. I'm pretty sure Delta's system works like that. I might be wrong,
what
but I'm
Delta
pretty sure
does, yeah.
Delta's system is not zonal. It is closest driver, or also with long waiting as well. So you technically, if you were waiting for an hour, like you said, and then you drove, say, into a hospital, like a high chance of getting a job, I think they'll like bump up the queue because they've been waiting the longest. But still, if you think about it, if they've been waiting for an hour, they still need to get dough. It doesn't matter where they are. With the guy that's just dropped off, he's just earned money. So even though he's the closest driver, he's literally just earned money where another driver hasn't. So it's a fine balance again, to be honest. But the zones, good points of bringing the zones up, mate. I used to work on zonal a lot. Alpha's still on zonal. And one thing that does me head, mate, I'm not even messing. I pull into a zone, yeah. And I'd be like, you know what, I do with the drink. And I know the zones are Alpha, because I've done them before. And like, I'll be in Iton, and I pulled up, and I like, just dropped the customer off. And I've been waiting for about half an hour. And I'm near the top of the queue of like 6 drivers like that. And I'll go, you know what, I'd love a drink. The drink's in the next zone. And I'm just like, oh, come on. I can't go and get a drink because there's 5 drivers in that zone. And I'll go to the bottom. Zonal is it is an old dying way. It is fair where like, yeah, you are right. The longest waiting in that area gets the job next. It is fair in that sense. But yeah, it was so frustrating, do you know what I mean? Because you can't even have a mooch about or drive to a different area because you're just getting put to the bottom of the queue in every area, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's another thing I wanted to bring up. And we've definitely, us three, I've definitely come across it. I've had it 2 or 3 times this summer holidays, right? And actually, when I went away to Poland, I booked my car in because we only went away for 2 nights. So I booked my car in to Manchester, and even then I messed up on this. So we were landing in Poland, back in the UK at 1 a.m. But we were flying like it's 10 or 11 p.m. And I put the car website, you know, like booking your car in for like the Sunday at 1 a.m. But I was flying on the Sunday night and arriving Monday morning. So I done it myself personally as a flipping airport guy. And I put the wrong date in because I was flying over midnight. So what I wanted to say to you is I've had it twice now where if you're on your booking form, isn't it? Or your boarding pass, it literally says flight 10 p.m, landing 8 a.m, but the date is the departure date, not the arrival date. You know what I mean? So a lot of customers put in the wrong date of their arrival. So a lot of drivers are arriving at the airport 24 hours early. Do you know what I mean? I was just wondering, have you come across it this week? I'll go to Mark. Have you come across it this holiday or not? Not really.
Well, I get jobs off a firm, don't I? So they tend to sort it all out, and when the jobs come through, I scan it anyway, put the flight numbers in anyway. But I've not actually on the day, but I've actually been given a job 2 or 3 days later. Say I got like my jobs, I got Monday for the rest of the week, and say I got the jobs Monday and I got a job Thursday, and it give the date for Thursday, but I put the flight number in, and it'd be for the Friday, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
You've noticed it.
Oh no, we're flying that night, and we're getting back in the morning. So that's the when they travel through the night. So they take off on the 16th, but they land on the 17th. But they put the 16th date down that I'm picking them up. I had that, but I've never actually been on the day. So always did my due diligence for it. So
you look at you, Mr. Professional, eh? Now listen, me and you more like drivers. I know obviously I've got my own company as well, but it's a bit different. But Mick's had his own company for like 15 years. So Mick, does this happen a lot, mate?
Constantly. Constantly. It's the most common mistake customers make all the time when booking. It's come to the point now is if we see, when we get a booking in and we see the return landing 1, 2, 3, even 7 a.m, 9 a.m, we have to we check double back to the customer. Right, it looked like you're flying over midnight there. Can you tell us if you're coming back on the 15th rather than the 14th? An example is also, you can tell, because holidays are always booked for 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. They're never booked for 13 days, 6 days. You get the odd few that trickle through, but 90% of the holidays are 7 days. You pay for 7 days, you get 7 days there. So if you're flying out late at night, you'll always have more or less like a late at night flight, and it'll bring you over to the next day. So you'll be coming home on your 8th day.
Yeah.
8th day, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going out on the 7th and your flight's at like 3, 4, 5 p.m, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna land. You've missed the day, so they won't count that as a day.
Yeah.
Because you're getting in late. So then you'll have 7 days in your holiday. And you'll be flying out later and coming home. You'll be taking off on the 14th, 7 days. But you'll have your day at the hotel spent.
And you land
what you've paid for. And you land on the 15th. It's a common mistake. And then, like I say, every job that comes through that's flying over midnight now, even when we're booking in the jobs and you're selecting your calendars, do you know what I mean? You can kind of, you look, right, 7th, and then next one down, 7 days, 14th. Hang on a minute. You're landing at 2 a.m. on the 14th, doesn't match. You've only got 6 days holiday. You pay for 7 days. Then when we're booking it in and we spot that, we go straight to the customer as well and say, can you check? Because airlines are some of them work well and they'll put a +1. This is what you got to look for on your booking forms as well. You'll see like they'll only ever give you departure dates, because if they start putting in the day you land, you'll find customers will turn up on the 15th for the flight, and it was 24 hours before. So that's the reason why they won't put landing dates on there.
Because I don't know why you can't put both on now. You know what I mean? So it'd be like the 5th of August, 6th of August, 5th arrival, departure, 6th arrival or whatever.
Yeah, some airlines do it, like where they'll have it like a line over from like that, I don't know, Antalya, Manchester, 13th, 14th, 15th. Some do it, but I know the reason why they don't, because I know customers will probably look at the Manchester date and turn up That's how silly people are, let me tell you.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? So airlines are like, no, we don't want a chance putting a second date on there. Put the one date only, make it simple, so they get to the airport on the right date.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what I
get
mean?
it.
Because it opens a book a little bit of a can of worms, doesn't it? Hang on, you've got 15th on me confirmation. Well, no, that's 15th on the day you land. Well, I didn't know that. Blah blah blah, and it'll end up. It wouldn't surprise me if someone took someone to court over it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
But like, I also like the one job I done. I fell for it the other day. I forgot. But normally, what I do is, I literally search the night before. So I've got 3 jobs today. So last night I searched the flight numbers if there was any. But I've got 2 out and 1 land. So I searched the flight numbers and just made sure that the date corresponded with and the time corresponded with what they put on the booking form. Do you know what I mean? But the reason I got caught last week is because I already had an out. So I was concentrating on the out. And then when I landed at the airport, I then checked my next job and seen that they would not land until the next day. It's the only reason why I got caught out on it. But I was already on it out anyway, so I drove back empty like a wood off if it never happened. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like Mark said, you've got to do your preparation, haven't you? Your due diligence before you're doing stuff like this. Do you
See,
know what
the
I mean?
thing is, as well, it's hard for a driver because you can't go off flight numbers. Flight numbers run for a week, 2 weeks. Some
Yeah.
flight numbers. Do you know what I mean? They have a flight on that flight number every day of the week sometimes.
Yeah.
I have noticed this year only, though, that there's sometimes I've been putting them in and there's been like a gap. It never used to be like that. It used to be a flight, a gap, a flight, a gap, a flight. On the same flight number this is, but obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a flight will land at 7th in the morning, 2 a.m. on the 7th. The next flight on that flight number is not landing until 9th, 2 a.m., 11th, 2 a.m. But it used to be 7, 8, 9, 10. Still is. There's still some there, but I've noticed a few that've been skipping through.
Could it be because less people flying during the summer because obviously it's so expensive to fly and that's why you've noticed gaps? Maybe putting on less planes this year, maybe.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but it make more sense if they're in between them with the flight numbers, like that flight number lands then the next flight number lands then the next, because then it gives us as drivers an airport transfers and people picking up. Hang on, alarm bells are ringing. I've checked the flight. It's not there. It's not landing on this day. It's landing 8 a.m. on. It's landing 2 a.m. on the 8th, not the 7th.
Yeah.
So then that sends alarm bells to us drivers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we won't go to the airport for them, and then that makes it easier for us to then get in touch with customers and blah blah blah. Find out, hang on, do you leave tonight and you're landing in the morning or whatever? Things like that make more sense for them if they've done it to help us, but highly doubt it. It's probably down to less flights.
Like, listen, it is coming up to, it's 5 to 10. Mark has got to Manchester at 10:30 and he's got to go and prep for that. So I'm going to call it now. But listen, do us a favour. I'm getting a few listeners now on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I think it's on Audible as well and a few other streaming places. So go and listen to that and give us a follow on those streaming devices, please. Also, obviously, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on TikTok. And if you can, join the membership. It is growing. There's about 40 members now, I think, and it's growing each day with members-only content. I'm actually filming a day in the life of Driver Matty video again, but this time it's only going to be for members. So, yeah, do us a favour, check all that out for us. And as obviously, per usual, thank you for Mark and Mick joining us again on DM Podcast. Much appreciated. And, yeah, we'll end it there. I'll stop recording, guys. Just go wait till it's uploaded. Mick, you're looking like you're quite low, so you need to wait a little bit. But listen, guys, thanks very much. What?
You've been on 0% for the last half hour.
Have I?
I've got 99% for Matty, and you're on 40%.
You're on 40, Mick.
I'm on 40, and you're on 0 for me.
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
I'll be honest with you, the kids are probably smashing the internet. I'll have to sort that when I stop it. But listen, thanks very much for listening and watching and everything else. And I'll see you on the next one. Okay, do us a favour as well. Comment below if you want to see anyone on the podcast. like a TikToker or a YouTuber or another driver, go and message them on their socials and process. Hey, message Matty to get on the podcast, yeah? Listen, thanks very much. Catch us all later.